Welcome to the Family Geekery Podcast, a podcast for geeks from a family of geeks. We talk about comics, video games, and anything else geeky. I'm Danny.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Chris.
And today is week 2 of FamilySpookery.
Yep.
You got it right.
And what are we talking about?
We're talking about killer clowns from outer space.
A cult classic sci-fi horror flick. And that pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
But before we talk about that...
Geeky Weeks.
Who's got weeks to geek out about?
I can start.
Okay.
I've been watching Agatha on Disney Plus. Caught up. I watched the first 2 episodes when they released, but then forgot about it for a couple of weeks. So now I'm caught back up to episode 4. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm like laughing out loud at like every other sentence they say. So I'm really enjoying that.
Ooh.
And I thought that today I would have received from Amazon the Magic the Gathering manga called Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated, because it releases today. But Amazon does not like to release things on time with Magic the Gathering. So I have to wait an extra week. No, I get it tomorrow, I think. Whatever.
You have to wait a whole day?
A day?
Well, yeah. Because I decided not to go to a store.
And that's what's wrong with this country.
But it'll be interesting to see how that works, because the cover of it has like a schoolgirl on it, which is not what we see in like Magic the Gathering cards. So tune in next week when I'll have a tiny review of the first volume of that.
Cool. You think it's going to be backwards paged like regular manga?
Probably. But I've read a little bit of manga now, so it's been a minute, but I should quickly get back into the groove of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, went to King's Dominion. Forgot about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all went together to celebrate the Halloween haunt.
Yeah.
Did we get haunted?
My food did.
Oh, no. Oh. Did you send that email yet?
Not yet.
Oh.
Just because a little bug wants to make a nest in your pretzel bite.
What about the undercooked pretzel bites?
That's human error.
Yeah, the anti-ants humans.
The bug is just a natural thing.
We did have fun besides our little meal mishap.
Yeah. The houses were good.
Yeah.
That we went into. They have a geeky one.
Yeah, the new one. Brand new this year, MonsterCon.
MonsterCon. That was pretty neat.
I will say the people in MonsterCon weren't as friendly as like the actors and scarers and the other ones, because if you're anything like me and you don't really get scared or they don't target you, you just kind of like walk around and say hi to them and try to make quick conversation with them as you walk through. And I don't know, MonsterCon wasn't a lot of opportunity for that. They just kind of ignored me. But the other two, we had some fun little one-offs.
Yeah, that's always fun. Got to entertain the entertainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are working. We got to make their lives just a little bit funner.
They do a good job, though.
I grammared wrong.
I will say it was my first time writing Project 305 in a long time, because it seemed that like that one was always closed or super busy. So I just like would never ride it, and it was as good as I remembered. So
It was
Thrilling.
good.
Do you black out at all?
I got the spotty vision, but
Yeah.
wasn't fully blacked out.
That's crazy.
It's what we do for fun.
That's right.
That's like the only ride there that does that to me, though. It's I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's a lot
Probably
of
as
G's,
close as they can get to being a legal roller coaster.
right? Cool. Anything else?
Not for me.
How about you, Danny?
Let's see. I watched a lot of movies. I watched Killer Clowns. Watched
That's timely.
Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's right. The original.
Original. Except Paramount needs to fix their audio.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
was
believe you guys watched the whole movie like that.
We're
was
watching the
bad.
movie with audio 30 seconds behind.
Gosh.
But it was good. And then I watched the first Joker. And then I went and saw the second Joker last night.
What'd you think?
It was pretty good. I liked it.
Then you're probably the only one.
I don't know. I feel like yeah, it was a lot of singing, but like it kind of just goes with their like insanity. Like I don't know. I think the plot was pretty good, and it was interesting. I don't mind a little song. I mean, if you're gonna have Lady Gaga in your movie, like she's gonna sing.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
I saw this meme. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard all the bad reviews. But I saw this meme. It was like, Warner Brothers in 2020, Joker 2 is going to be a musical. Warner Brothers in 2021, Joker 2 is going to be a musical. And then, like, every single year, people in 2024, why is Joker a musical?
Yeah, I saw box office reports for the first weekend, and it said that it's on par with the Marvels
Oh no.
and almost as bad as Morbius.
Oh no.
Ow.
No.
That's
Nowhere
for the
close to
box office.
Morbius.
It probably had a higher budget than Morbius, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I saw it also. It was okay. It was a little hard to get through.
Yeah. It was decent.
I liked the soundtrack overall,
Yeah.
like the the timeless classics, a lot of show tunes and stuff. I just don't know if I wanted to see them fully played out, scene
Yeah.
after scene after scene.
Yeah. I mean, the first Joker movie was good because like they had music and like he would dance and stuff because that's like his little thing. But
This is a little thing.
he had a lot of dancing in this one, dancing and singing.
We can only imagine the third one's going to have even more.
If they get there.
So, anything else besides the movies?
Went to King's Dominion, and that's it.
That's it.
Nice.
Cool. Well, let's see. I saw that movie, the Joker movie. Went to King's Dominion and played a couple games this week.
Did you
Still
finish
playing.
Satisfactory?
Finish? I don't think there's any finishing
finish. Oh.
No. I don't think there's a finish. Well, if there is, I'm going to be years away from it because I see things on Reddit every now and then. Somehow, Reddit thinks I want to know stuff about Satisfactory, and I see things on there that I didn't even know was in the realm of possibility of things to build.
Wow.
So I think I'm very far away, but still having fun. Still burning coal. Let's see. Oh, loaded up Epic Mickey, the original Epic Mickey on the Wii.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Started playing through that. The controls are bad.
Really?
Bad controls, bad camera. So when the if I do pick up the remake, I'm hopeful that the controls are better.
It's gonna be on the Switch, right?
It's going to be on. It's on all the platforms. It's already out.
Oh.
But yeah, so played a little bit of that. Um, the graphics still hold up. I was actually pretty surprised playing a Wii on the old LCD TV that the graphics look pretty good. But it's all cartoon, so you figure cartoon looks good everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the highlight of gaming this week was probably loading up Astrobot. Have you heard of Astrobot?
Is that
No?
the racing game?
No. So this is a new PS5 game, and it's a 3D platformer, and it's basically the epitome of 3D platformers for the PS5, and it's like gathering everybody's attention that
So
has a
like
PS5. It's
kind of like Banjo Kazooie or like Crash Bandicoot type game.
yes, but on the level of like a Mario Sunshine, you know. So all the recent Mario games, or not Sunshine, but Mario. What's the one with the
Odyssey?
hat? Yeah, the Odyssey and the one with the hat, whatever that was,
Yeah.
with Cappy. Cappy. All of those, are kind of like the ultimate 3D platformers, and this one is on par with that.
Huh.
And you're basically a little robot, and you and 500 of your friends are flying around in a PS5 through space, and some alien like rattles your cage and spreads all 500 robots all over the galaxy, and you have to go and like rescue them.
Whoa.
And a lot of them are robot versions of famous PlayStation characters from
Oh,
over
so
the
it's like
years.
PlayStation themed.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh.
So it's a first party Sony game that has homages to all of their classics. So you got little robot versions of like Parappa the Rapper, robot versions of, was it Kratos from God of War,
That's fun.
and you go through all these different things and rescue them. So you have, I think it's either 300 or 500. I forget what it was. Maybe 300 robots to rescue,
Wow.
and everybody loves it. So I had to give it a shot, and it is a crazy example of how awesome the hardware, specifically the controller. So I don't think you've ever played the DualSense controller for the PS5, right? Because
No,
you're
I don't think I've ever played the PS5.
because you're mouse and keyboard people, anyways.
Yeah.
But this
Superior.
controller is just crazy in the sense that it's got a speaker built into it. It's got haptic feedback on the triggers, and the vibration control is probably the best of any controller ever. And the thing is reacting to the game the whole time.
Huh.
And I think they
Hmm.
even made an Astrobot version of this. And Astrobot has like little eyes that glow. And I think the Astrobot version of this controller, this touchpad area here, has like LEDs behind it where the eyes will like blink and
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
But it's like $150 or something.
Ooh.
Jeez.
It's crazy expensive. But you'll have to check it out next time you come over. It is a fantastic game. I've only played through one level so far, but I'll be checking that out for a while.
How
I
many robots did you save in the first level?
think it's 7.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's not like one robot per level. You get a couple every
Right.
level.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, it's Banjo Kazooie, Mario 3D World, that kind of stuff. Ape Escape, those types of games.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. And each level or series of levels has like some kind of power up or trope, or that you learn how to use, and you use it throughout those levels to you know get to places that you haven't been before, that kind of thing.
Oh, Astrobot is so cute.
Yeah, they're thinking that he's going to be the new face of PlayStation.
Oh, he looks like it.
So Sackboy for the last probably 10 years or so has been kind of as much of an icon as anybody,
Yeah.
and they're thinking Astrobot's going to take over the helm from Sackboy.
No, but Sackboy.
But I think Sackboy's in this game too.
I think so, because I
He's
saw Sackboy when I Googled it.
Robot Sackboy. But yeah, so good game. Excited to check more of it out.
I'll have to see if there's like a playthrough online that I can watch or something.
There probably is. Very, very popular right now. Well, cool. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast episode, talking about killer clowns from outer space. What do we know about it?
When teenagers Mike and Debbie see a comet crash outside their sleepy small town, they investigate and discover a pack of murderous aliens who look very much like circus clowns. They try to warn the local authorities, but everyone assumes their story is a prank. Meanwhile, the clowns set out harvesting and eating as many people as they can. It's not until they kidnap Debbie that Mike decides it's up to him to stop the clowns' bloody rampage.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Yep. This movie is made by the Chiodo brothers, who I don't really know anything that they've done personally, but upon looking up their like Wikipedia and their other IMDb credits, they do a lot of puppeteering. So I noticed that particular Steven Chiodo, who's credited as the director of this movie, he did like all the puppeteering for all the Nickelodeon TV shows and movies and stuff, which is kind of crazy. So he seems to be pretty successful right now. And otherwise they've like worked on doing puppets and stop motion for like The Simpsons and all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, that's who made this movie. A bunch of special effects guys decided, hey, let's make up this alien killer clowns thing.
Right. And it was what, 1988?
Yes.
Now let's talk first about why we even watched this movie. So when we decided we were going to do, even before the name came about, FamilySpookery, Amber had set out a couple, like, hey, let's do a classic horror film, let's do a modern horror film, and let's do maybe a B movie horror film. So I just threw a couple ideas into the chat, and this is the first one that popped in my head because, like I said, I've been seeing like pops made of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and at like Spirit Halloween, there's like always the clown mask, like particular to this. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they have their own section for this movie.
Wow.
And it's a movie that I never saw, and one that I have always wanted to see just because I like stupid, crazy movies. And I was a little confused why I hadn't seen it, because I saw a lot of weird B movies, growing up. I'd watch it with my friends all the time. But this one, I think being 1988, it might have been a little bit late in my years of watching crazy movies. So I thought this was a little bit earlier than 88. So it makes a little bit more sense how it might have dropped off my radar. I might have been into other things like Transformers and stuff by then.
But it's rated PG-13. You would have been like the perfect age to watch something like this.
Yeah. But it didn't go to the theaters.
Oh, it didn't?
No, it was straight to video.
Oh. Now, here's something that this movie actually is pretty topical, because I don't know when in this year, but this year there was a Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game that released.
Yes.
And a lot of the original cast came back and did their voices.
Oh.
Which is kind of cool. I should have like watched the trailer or something for the game, but I just thought that was really cool. Like when looking at the IMDb pages for everyone else, I was like, oh, Suzanne Snyder plays Debbie Stone in the Killer Klowns video game 2020. It was like her top credit. Her most recent thing she did is this video game.
Yeah, I think it was a
So,
summer release, like July or something of this year.
oh,
So it's pretty recent.
cool.
And it's supposed to be like a Dead by Daylight type play style.
Oh. Anyways, I thought that was cool that there was a game that was just released. Makes this a little bit more topical.
Yep. And they've had talks over the years of a sequel, or they call it like a requel, which is part redo and part sequel or something. For years and years and years. And I think some have been actually done but never finished or something.
Oh.
But they're hopeful that they'll get something in the works soon, I guess. I guess if you're busy with Nickelodeon, you don't say no to that.
Right.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty good gig. But yeah, so this is the epitome of, even as I'm looking at this webpage that shows it, there is a list with its picture on the cover of the list that says 20 A+ B horror
Yeah.
movies. So this is like the epitome of B horror movies. And it is more sci-fi, I guess, than horror.
Yeah.
But there's enough horror in it that they're working with a tight budget. I read that the most expensive prop, vehicles aside, because the vehicles were all rented, so they didn't have to build any vehicles. I don't know where they got the ice cream truck from, but the most
What about the
expensive
clown car?
the most expensive prop was the rifle that shot out the popcorn,
Oh.
because they had to actually build that thing to have pneumatic air pressure in there to blow out the popcorn, and it cost them $7,000.
Whoa.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, if that's the most expensive prop, when they
Yeah.
had
Right.
circus tents and set pieces that were pretty impressive. I think they did a good job with limited resources.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, who is your favorite character? Let's go around the room.
Pooh Bear.
Which one's that again?
The dog at the beginning.
Pooh Bear is Farmer Gene Green's dog.
Oh.
I'm going with Farmer Gene Green.
He was an icon. Oh my
Farmer?
gosh, yeah.
When you use words like tarnation,
What in tarnation? I could relate to him a lot because he was just talking to his dog the whole time.
yeah.
I'm like, I would do that in his situation.
Yeah, tarnation and hornswoggled, and well, I'll be greased and fried.
Yeah.
What in blue blazes?
Oh.
And then he gets very upset when someone steals his dog.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tear this thing apart with my bare hands.
And then he gets got.
Yeah. But yeah, Farmer Gene Green's my favorite. How about you guys?
I already said Pooh Bear.
Oh, Pooh Bear. What about you, Danny? Favorite
I guess,
character?
and by extension, the farmer.
My favorite character, I'd say the two, I don't remember their names, the guys that drove the ice cream truck.
The Terenzi brothers.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Those ones.
Yeah, they were funny. Worried about selling that ice cream.
Yeah, trying to get the girls. Only helping because they were told that the main girl, Debbie, had 2 roommates.
Yeah.
And then they go inside the clown place and get lost. And, oh, there's 2 clown chicks.
And
Are you
like
Debbie's roommates?
it's like a hot tub scene, but it's like a
Yeah.
ball pit, right?
Yeah.
And then the next thing, you don't see them for a while, and then they pop back up and they have all these like big kissy marks on their face.
Yeah. they had some quotes in the as the ice cream clown as they're driving around on top of that the top of the world, which is basically the inspiration point of this movie, or the place where you go and go parking with your girl.
Yeah,
And
classic 80s things.
Yeah.
I can't repeat any of it on the podcast because it's not family friendly, but it was a pretty funny little jingle that they're singing up there to the lovers up there, trying to get them to take a break from what they're doing and buy some ice cream.
Yeah,
As they should.
I know that there was like a different rating system back in the 80s and stuff. But man, this is rated PG-13. We've got 2 F-bombs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So would not live up to PG-13 in our times. But
Would that be one too
honestly
many
pretty
F-bombs?
tame. Honestly, pretty tame from what I expected.
Yeah. Thank goodness the budget was low.
Yeah.
Or else they may have pushed the limits of the PG-13 part. So we got Mike Tobacco and Debbie Stone, the 2 main characters that are driving the whole movie pretty much. And then just a gaggle of side characters. You got the good cop and the bad cop.
Yeah.
Good cop just happens to be Debbie's ex-boyfriend.
Of course.
The bad cop happens to be just the epitome of bad cop. One of his quotes is, "I'm supposed to read you your rights, but what his name was Mooney. But you're in Mooney's world now, and you got no rights."
Yeah. Now this must be a very small town if they've only got like 2 cops going. It seemed like it was a college town from what I gathered in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess very small means only 2 cops. Small town, small budget.
Yeah.
But the cop was really funny, Mooney. He had a lot of just really absurd, funny things that he said that would not hold up in today's today's world. But
and he might have been the biggest name actor in
he
the
seemed like it.
show. They tried to get who's it, Soupy Sales, which is a famous comedian from way back when. They tried to get him, but for some reason they couldn't get him. He was famous for always taking pies in the face.
Mm.
So they wanted to get him in this movie. I don't know if they wanted to get him for the cop part.
Maybe the security guard at the.
That's what it was. Yeah. They wanted to get him
the
to
one
be
who
the
does
security
get pied
guard.
eventually.
Oh, the one that
Right.
drowns in the pie.
Yeah. All right, so we got our favorite characters. What about our favorite scenes?
I have mine.
Okay.
Oh.
Go for it.
It's okay, well, every clown kill was a good scene on its own. But my favorite clown kill was when the clown punched, I think it was a biker, I forget. Punched one of the guys in the face and their head just comes clean off.
Yeah, the bikers like mocking this like small clown who came in on like a tricycle.
And they break his
he
tricycle.
smashes his bike. And the clown just punches him right in the face. That was a good one.
See, and that's where, like, they can't remake the movie because it's never going to be that good because they'll actually have good effects nowadays and it'll just ruin the moment. You don't have the bad effects with the good kills.
So, for the record, that was my favorite scene too.
Nice.
Twins.
The biker's name was Slug, and the clown is just known as Tricycle Clown. And of course, Slug says to him, "Mean bike you got there. Can I take a ride, pal?" And the clown says, "No." Shakes his head. And he says, "Can I beep the horn?" And the clown shakes his head, "Yes." He says, "Oh, thank you," and then he tears the bike apart. And one of the other bikers says, "Should have let the man ride your bike." And then that's when he knocks his block right off. What are you gonna do? Knock my block off? Yeah. So that was a good scene.
I liked when Debbie like gets out of the shower, she gets all dressed, and they've just got the little baby clowns
Yeah.
that grow from popcorn for whatever reason.
Oh yeah,
They're coming out of her toilet, her hamper. And she gets a good little, female protagonist escape scene there. So I like that for her.
nice.
I will say I was not expecting Mike to live the entire movie.
Well, originally he didn't,
Oh,
Hmm.
but after a couple screenings, the crowd said that it should end on an up note,
okay.
so they rewrote the ending.
I like that. I like that pretty much everyone survives.
Well,
Maybe.
What about Pooh Bear?
Well,
Well,
dog
we
never
never see his
lived.
body. We don't know what they do to dogs.
At least
that's
it's not a
true.
cat. That's all that matters.
True.
So we got some taglines. Every movie back then's got to have a tagline. This one has 5.
Okay.
One is, "In space, no one can eat ice cream." That's
Okay.
that's a little.
Okay.
It makes sense if you watch the movie, but might not be the best tagline. Next one is, "Alien bozos with an appetite for close encounters."
Okay.
Close Encounters being a play on the title of one of the biggest sci-fi movies of the 80s, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Hmm.
Sure.
Uh,
Reference I don't get.
so
Yeah.
that reference is also in the third tagline, "Horrific harlequins with an appetite for close encounters." And then this is my favorite, "Big top, big shoes, big teeth."
That's the best one.
And then the simplest tagline is just something that gets said in the trailer, I guess. "Killer clowns from outer space. It's crazy."
Simple.
And that pretty much sums it up too.
I know, Danny, when you were talking about it before I watched it, you said it had a really good um,
Soundtrack.
soundtrack, and I agree. They wrote like an entire original theme song for the beginning of the movie. It was
Right?
awesome,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Makes you dance.
right?
Had that
Just jamming out.
80s rock type vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do the classic like radio trick where they like change the radio when the song ends or whatever. I think.
Nice. All right, so anything else we talked about? Favorite characters, favorite scenes? Anything else on this movie before we call it an episode?
Did they ever explain the motives behind these killer clowns? Or
Uh,
the 80s don't have explanations?
that'll all be explained in the sequel next year.
If it ever gets made.
Right.
We need a prequel.
And they had this really cool like boss clown. And they have a really cool like fight scene with that guy. Well, fight scene is a strong word. But he was like barely in the movie, and I think he's the one that's like probably on the cover and like all the famous masks are of him and stuff.
Mm.
I like
But
Clown Kong or something like that.
yeah, I don't know. Is that its name?
Might be.
Oh.
I forget.
Which was your favorite clown? Which was your favorite clown?
I like Tricycle Clown.
Okay.
He's sassy.
I like the one the big chubby one that killed the police officer.
Yeah.
He was kind of creepy.
I liked the one that was doing the hand puppets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene.
That was a
They
good
just
one.
jumped straight up in the air.
Yeah, it was definitely some good effects with the cloud puppets.
Yeah, I was like, the whole time while watching, I was like complimenting the puppeteering because it was so cool. Like the costumes were crazy. It was awesome. So much detail. Very impressed.
Yeah, I think they were based off of simple shapes. Like each one had, like one was a triangle or upside down triangle. One was a
Ah,
like an egg shape or something.
Shape
easy.
language.
Yep.
Now, one thing I wonder is, were clowns scary before this movie came out? Like, were people like, did people have like the fear of clowns?
I think so for sure.
Okay, and that's what
Especially
they like
Debbie.
played on.
Especially Debbie had a whole backstory of being terrified by a clown, and then Mike just plays it off.
Wait, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh.
When they're going into the tent, she
Oh,
says, "When I was 5 years old, my mom and dad took me to the circus for the first time. Lion tamers, acrobats, tightrope walkers. I guess they were okay. But then this little car drove up and stopped right in front of me. Out jumped this huge clown. He jumped over to me. He lifted me right up out of my seat. Everybody was laughing, even my parents. Then he threw me up on his shoulders and he ran me into the center ring. And then all the other clowns started dancing around me, honking their horns and squeaking their noses. Their cakey white faces and yellow eyes and dingy teeth were tormenting me. I was terrified. I will never forget those horrible smiling faces as long as I live."
Oh.
And then and then
wow.
Mike replies with, "Hey, don't worry. Nothing here's going to hurt you."
Nice one, Mike.
Well,
I mean,
Oh.
that's the perfect setup though.
Now, were you guys team Mike or team Dave, the other cop, the good cop?
Hey, Dave had his chance.
yeah.
He blew it. Got to be team Mike. Mike Tobacco.
Yeah, interesting name.
I was gonna say, of course, the restaurant that's in town is a what is it?
Oh,
Like
it's
a
like a
big
circus
top, big
theme.
top
Circus
burger.
circus
Yeah.
theme with the little girl. I don't
Yeah.
know if I was a little girl and a clown was telling me to come outside, I don't know if I would leave.
Right. All right. So anything else on this movie?
I'm surprised these actors are like kind of small. Like, I feel like they were all pretty talented considering the themes of the movie.
Yeah, probably the most famous one come out of it had probably the smallest part in the movie, and that was he was listed in the credits as Chris Titus, but he's known professionally as Christopher Titus, and he was a stand-up comedian, had his own TV show in the '90s just called Titus. Got really big, and then kind of after that TV show, kind of went back to stand-up. He's
Mm.
got probably one of the best storytelling style of stand-up comedies ever. He's one of my favorite comics by a long shot. Just
Huh.
his ability to tell stories, and I think thinking back now to that all of his stories were based on his life and his relationship with his father, and that's what the TV show was about. Um, I think once you tell all those stories and everybody knows them, and then he goes through some divorces, and then he tells those stories, and then everybody knows him. I wonder if once you run out of stories and that's your biggest talent is
Yeah.
storytelling, maybe it gets a little bit harder. But I'm sure he's done other things since. I saw him on IMDb when I was looking to make sure it was him in the movie. I saw him in some screenshots with the guys from uh, Pawn Stars.
Oh,
So,
Hmm.
so I don't know if maybe he had a stint in Vegas
Vegas.
and
Yeah.
did some collabs with them or something. But yeah, he was the guy that was crossing the street with the beer.
Hmm.
Oh,
Just
at the very beginning.
just one little scene where he's crossing
Oh,
the
he's
street.
the glasses guy.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good for him.
but you're right. For being a cult classic, these guys didn't show up. I don't think in hardly any other big movies or anything. The other actors.
Yeah.
I wonder if they get a pretty good circuit on like the cons.
Ooh, maybe. We'll have to check it out when Galaxy comes back.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. There's did that fit the bill for classic horror beef flick movie?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
All right.
Very glad we watched that one.
So we got that out of our system. What are we
And
going to next week with?
Halloween. Let's do Halloween next week.
Halloween. So that's going to be
Yeah.
our classic horror movie.
Classic horror movie.
Can't go wrong
Hopefully
with
it can be
Halloween.
synced.
Is it on Paramount?
No.
Good.
What I find in retrospect with these classics, now you guys walk into a franchise of like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and you just know them as being epic franchises of horror films. But what I want to warn you is that didn't happen overnight. So
It happened over 20 years.
one movie at a time, and when you see the first one, you might think, well, how did this get so big? We did watch, Danny and I watched Friday the 13th, the original one, and that one holds up. There was some good stuff going on in that one, but Halloween by itself, still a great movie, still a classic, but don't expect the whole franchise of Halloween to exist in that one movie.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
good thing I don't know anything about the franchise other than Jamie Lee Curtis is a cool person.
Cool person. She has definitely survived the ages of being an actress of many different formats, not just falling into the horror film.
Freaky Friday.
That's right.
Amongst other things.
All right, so
But that's all for next week.
Stay tuned next week for our retelling of watching Halloween for week 3 of Family Spookery. That's going to wrap it up for this week. Go ahead and check out those socials. Check out the YouTube channel, see what's going on there. Reach out to us if you have seen this movie before. Tell us what you think about it. Well, that's going to wrap it up. We thank you as always for listening. And until next time,
Peace
out.
out.
Peace out
And
and
geek
geek out.
thank you for listening to the Family Geekery podcast. For more information, visit www.familygeekery.com. Don't forget to subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. And until next time, peace out and geek out.